According to director Quentin Tarantino, violence is one of the most fun things to watch. Like the battles of gladiators in an arena, action scenes can give the audience an opportunity to sit back and enjoy the pure entertainment that violence has to offer. Violence in films is often associated with men. My argument is that masculinity in films does not have to be portrayed through the use of excess violence. It can be displayed through the use of quick thinking and smart decision making. For the purposes of this analysis, the two main characters that we will be focusing on are John Rambo and James Bond. Rambo's stereotypical masculinity and excessive brute force will be juxtaposed with Bond's suave and cunning approach to problem solving. Let's begin by taking a look at the last scene from the fourth Rambo film, where our hero and a few of his allies take on an entire army in order to survive. The ease and ferocity with which he handles hordes of enemies sets extremely unrealistic expectations for how physically capable men ought to be in the real world. Now let's look at what happens when Rambo is faced with an unexpected problem. After receiving a blow to the shoulder from presumably the same type of bullet that Rambo used to cut his enemies in half, Rambo is able to simply yell his pain away and proceed to continue shredding his enemies apart. Rambo's final display of physical superiority comes in the form of a knife to the bad guy's gut. Yet again, Mr. Rambo decides to go over the top with his vengeance as he tears the knife through the Vietnamese soldier's torso and kicks the body away. His actions would lead us to believe that a man must be unrealistically cruel and almost feral in nature during combat. Let's move on to our next subject, who has a noticeably different relationship with violence. The action scenes in the film Casino Royale involve a very different approach by the protagonist, James Bond, which results in a much more realistic depiction of a man, along with sending a healthier overall message to male viewers. In this chase scene, Bond is after a runner who is faster and more agile. Bond is attempting to capture the runner alive, which allows for him to showcase his skills. The runner can be seen easily traversing the abstract environment, whereas Bond manages to keep up through the use of alternative means. Here we see another example of Bond using quick thinking in order to play the environment to his advantage and to keep up with the bad guy. At any point throughout the chase, Bond could have attempted to immobilize the runner with a proper shot from his pistol, but the safety of the bystanders would be put at risk if he did so. The fact that he avoided taking a shot at the runner means that Bond is too selfless to perform such an act. Throughout the entire chase, Bond somehow manages to avoid the use of violence at almost all costs. Besides that poor wall, of course. He makes up for his acrobatic inferiority by using smart, efficient ways to chase the runner. His analysis of the environment helps him find ways to be smart in his pursuit of the enemy. He strives for the completion of the mission, and he only resorts to violence when he is faced with almost no choice. Even in a situation where he could justifiably take out all of the guards in order to escape, Mr. Bond makes use of the environment in order to defuse the threat of his attackers, all the while avoiding as many kill shots as possible. Bond, while outnumbered, uses his quick thinking and analytical skills to cleverly incapacitate the soldiers and flee the scene. In the end, Bond's decision-making allows for the prevention of any more loss of life, besides the assailant that he disposed of as a last resort. And it shows us viewers just how effective our male heroes can be without resorting to a "my stick is bigger than your stick" approach. Now that we've analyzed the two distinct styles in which our two subjects utilize violence, we can clearly see that one character's actions send a completely different message from the others. Rambo embraces and thrives in the vulgarity of his actions, leading viewers to believe that his manliness is dependent on how many heads he can blow off. Bond sparingly makes use of such brutality. His relationship with violence is a familiar, yet distant one, proving to us that being bombastic is not what makes male characters successful. Casino Royale's protagonist, along with the lead male characters from many other films, show us that masculinity does not go hand in hand with excessive violence. Masculine characters can be quiet, thoughtful, and even compassionate at times, all while maintaining their treasured masculinity.